if you want to liquidate money, you need warp gates in play. You need a steady gas income to just to be able to liquidate your resources. He's been sitting at like an average of 4,000 unspent resources for most of the game right now. But I am willing to lick my wounds at this point. I'm bringing over this Viking to be repaired by this SCV. My second orbital command is now continuing to pump SCVs, so is my planetary fortress. And yeah, I am also pretty gas starved, as these refineries were destroyed for an extended period of time. I need to recover there, and these refineries haven't been fully saturated either. But here we finally have some more gateways being brought in from KrimsonStorm. He's got all of these Colossi and Stalkers and Zealots. Actually, I don't see any Zealots in this particular group, but regardless, they're unupgraded. They're going to encounter these Banshees. That Banshee's going to get maybe taken out. Yeah, I try to pull it back, but it gets taken down by those Stalkers. These Colossus are going to encounter this missile turret, going to burn that down pretty quick. Looks like they're going to rush from my mineral line. I'm pulling these tanks back, probably to get the high ground. There goes the sweep to detect these Stalkers. Just now sieging up these siege tanks, going to try to eliminate these Stalkers. One-shotting that Colossus first, it looks like. And now we have a scan going down here over those Stalkers. The Marines are going to be brought into play with the assistance of these siege tanks to push these forces back. So as you can see, I have made the tech switch to Banshees, as I think that was my original intention. If things went more smoothly for me and I hadn't encountered that strange sort of cannon rush, I would have liked to just go straight for Banshees, as Desert Oasis does favor air units, but only now, after getting this weird array of Marines and Vikings and siege tanks, I can finally put my Banshees in the air. I did mention that my enemy's forces are unupgraded. Mine also are, for the most part. I do have one infantry upgrade on these Marines, as they have been pretty useful for me this game, just as far as versatile units. I have two idle SCVs here, not working. Now selecting them and putting them to work. Looks like I'm going to go on an offensive here with my tanks and Marines. Probably going to run into this high yield expansion. No, I'm going to pull back for whatever reason. Probably just going to group up my units. Yeah, one of the things that Starcraft 2 players struggle to do, in most cases, obviously the higher leagues don't find themselves in this position very much, but lower skill level players, they struggle to locate all their units on the map. Sometimes they just simply lose them and mismanage them so that they lose their control groups. But right now we've got a battle going on. These Banshees are going to encounter these Stalkers, trying to micro back, losing one Stalker for one Banshee. These units are all unupgraded. Now these tanks are being sieged up, one-shotting that Colossus, able to try to take down these Zealots, but it looks like I'm going to lose all my siege tanks to these Zealots, as they're just not, the Banshees aren't able to do enough DPS in time. There was also a sort of superfluous scanner sweep. I guess I wanted to get rid of any observers, but interesting use of the Colossus by KrimsonStorm. Instead of grouping them up into one single group like you see a lot of Protoss players do, he has sort of like a handful patrolling all around the map, although this particular Colossus, it just seems to be kind of like a sacrifice distraction. But either way, KrimsonStorm, with his 5,000 minerals, he has forces distributed all over the map, small groups of forces, and right now I'm trying to regain what map control I have. These Banshees are just kind of wasting their cloak energy. Some Vikings being rallied towards them. Also, these group of Marines are going to encounter these Phoenixes, which no doubt were probably created in an attempt to take down my air units, but my unexpected plan of just creating a great deal of unit diversity, it seems to be paying off for me, as whenever Crimson tries to counter my units, I already have a group of units in play that counters his, so in that respect I have done well in this game, although this Viking is going to just take out that Colossus. So we get an eye for an eye battle right here, but once again I've been struggling to position my siege tanks correctly, as I'm just going to I'm going to try to siege up this guy to get in a few free shots. He will get in one shot on that Zealot, eating into his health and taking down all his shields, but yeah, now my front door is exposed. There go my supply depots. I do have this planetary fortress in play, So that is an asset for me. Here come my air units. I don't know where my siege tanks are. Perhaps they all died. Taking a look at my units in play. Yeah, all my siege tanks have been eliminated, as I was only creating them out of one factory. But yeah, these infantry units are just, they're trying to rush my mineral line, but they're obviously at this point in the game, there's no minerals left here, so not the best tactical decision from KrimsonStorm, as his units are not really focusing any targets of value. Losing that one Viking there, though. And now these Vikings, with the assistance of these Banshees, are going to safeguard my main base. Yeah, Crimson now looking at 6,000 minerals almost, so that's probably going to be the determining factor in this game, is just his inability to spend. There is an observer in play who's going to catch those air units. He is now starting to make a lot of warp gates, but regardless, he is just not able to keep up with his income. Switching to that right now, I have now solidified my advantage as far as economics. I have 1,700 minerals incoming per second, or during whatever period it is, and he has almost 800 now. Bringing in these Banshees, taking down this simulator, not the best target really, but damn it goes regardless. They're going to cloak when they see these Banshees, and they're going to try to take those down. So fairly large group of Banshees now with that one armor upgrade. I do have these 2 armories in play, each researching ship weapons and ship plating. Got some idle Banshees there as well, not being macroed correctly. This one Void Ray is going to be kind of a nuisance to me because I don't have any Vikings in this group. I think I now realize this, and I have this one ground mode Viking going to encounter this pylon. Going to be trying to DPS that down very slowly. So yeah, just you can note a few mistakes in this game, but for the most part, there was a lot of action as far as unit confrontations around the map. He's trying to push in with this fairly large counterattack force. He's going to be going to my natural expansion. He's going to try to take down this barracks with the reactor. These missile turrets take down that observer. These probes even being thrown into the fray. Why not, right? And now this planetary fortress has engaged. I'm pulling off SCVs off the line to repair it when the time comes. And right now, I would definitely give the advantage to myself, as I've taken down most of Crimson's technology buildings, and Crimson has not been able to breach my first level of defense, which is this planetary fortress. The SCV is doing a great job. Just this battle right here is a testament to the defensive nature of the Terran. He had this very large control